that song, as well as a lot of the album, has a whole lot of scratching, which I love.
Oh yeah, DJ Action.
Yeah, so Action, of course, he has his own song there, but at the same time, um, when the songs are being made, like think about it, for instance, do you like hearing Rock Kim, did that help inspire you to write it all when you
Oh
guys are,
no no no.
no,
Um,
later?
okay, so say for something like Think About It, right? We put all those rhymes were already made. The hooks came last on every song.
Oh, really?
There was no song that had a hook.
Wow. Okay.
The hooks came last. So basically, that's how I wrote. I just wrote rhymes because remember, I was in the street rhyming. I was battling. I was like, I wasn't singing records outside. I was battling motherfuckers, right? So it was just verses coming at you, ba 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 ba, and it end when it end. I wouldn't do 16 bars. We didn't do 16 bars in the street. We just spit till you ran out of rhymes,
Right.
right? So that's what we were doing. And when I got to the studio, I was just laying stuff, and Howie had to back me up and say, "Yo, look, man, this is how we do it. This is how you look at it. This is how you count it out, and this is how many bars it needs to be." So I was like, "All right, cool." So what I would do now is when I go home, I start counting my bars. Even now, today, when I'm rhyming, I'm doing a verse. I count it out till I get to my 16 or 12 or whatever it's gonna be, and then I'm good.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. I would have never I would have never thought that all those choruses and stuff were added later. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, all the choruses were the last part of the record. I mean, most of my recordings, the choruses are last. I don't really ever start with the chorus first. Like we build a song and then we figure out what we want to talk about and then we make a chorus. Or if someone comes with a track that has a chorus or there's a vocalist and they come up with a chorus, that's cool. But back then, no, we did it from verse to chorus.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, in my opinion, sadly, but most rap has gotten away a lot from a lot of scratching like you have on the album. And nobody really does songs about their DJ like you have with Ak-Shun on this album, Youngest in Charge. So for you at the time and comparing it to now, why was the DJ so important to you? Why was Ak-Shun so important? And why is it faded?
Yeah, well, then in that era, and even now, the DJ is important. They're an integral part of the group. They provide the audio, which nobody can move to, and you can't rap without music. So the DJ is important, but beyond that now, it was to showcase his skill level and to brag about him. Like I said, I did songs about everything. So naturally, it came down to a DJ song as well and showcasing him, just kind of bigging him up as a DJ. And that, that was cool. And we had a great hook. His name was Ak-Shun, and we had that one Ak-Shun. So it was like, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do that.
Okay. And then with the Bush, I was always intrigued because that one was one of the more, it had a lot more social commentary, I would say, about people using crack, especially.
Yeah.
So even though,
Crack era.
yeah, so even though that wasn't something that you were really quote unquote known for, I think that that was a very powerful part of the song. So for you as a writer, why was that important to speak on the crack epidemic?
Oh, I speak on it various times in different ways, but that's a part of uh, the Bush. And if you're going to speak about the Bush, you got to speak about that too. And the crack epidemic was super big in Brooklyn. Like, it was all about fucking selling crack and making money. And that's what everybody was doing. So I had to talk about that. We talking about Brooklyn. We talking about the Bush. We gonna talk about everything in the Bush. Tell you about the dreads on the corner with the weed. Tell you about motherfuckers selling crack. Tell about people hustling. Motherfuckers out here wilding. Girls wilding, fighting, this, that, and the third. Whatever it is, I depicted it and described it in the song.
Yeah. Now, interestingly, though, I think the third verse might be my favorite because of your flow and how you're stacking the rhymes and the patterns and everything on there.
Right.
So with that, how do you, in one song, vary so much from like stylistically to content wise? How do you think you're able to manage that?
Well, what I do is, first of all, it has to fit the subject matter to be in the song in the first place, and then from there, basically, we just whatever sound, is relevant, whatever's relevant. If it's relevant in its flow. But for me, I don't like doing the same style an entire record. I can't even do the same style the whole verse. Like, I try, but I'm so sporadic with it. Like, I like to switch my shit up and take you on different paths and journeys. So I'll start rapping one way and then change it up and rap another way and then start rapping another way. So I'm like a whole crew. You know what I'm saying? I'm like a whole crew.
Gotcha. Now, Fly MC, the last song, is the one that I think has the craziest story and international and all this, which I think kind of made me understand and appreciate the mission maybe a little bit more when it came out. It didn't throw me as much as it did some of my other friends at the time.
Right.
But for me, that was just such a wild adventure going overseas and like doing all this other stuff. So what was the genesis of that story?
Well, with that, it was really just about everything that was fly. So I kind of thought about it all and used the word fly as much as I can to describe everything and everything that contained fly in it and anything that had to do with flying. So then that's when the flight came in. And I was like, all right, so I'm going to fly somewhere now. So now where am I going to fly and what am I going to do? So I really thought about it and I was like, well, yeah, I landed in this country. They greeted me properly, like, salute me properly like the royalty I am. And then, the motherfucker get jealous because, it's queen on my dick. So basically, that's how the story kind of unfolds. And, and then it just started getting amusing. So I just kept it amusing. And I was like, all right, well, what would be funny? All right, well, boom, I don't really want to fuck with her like that. So I would just kick her ass out the cargo hatch and give her a parachute. How about that? So that's pretty much where that came from. But it was just all in fun.
Okay. And then why? Because on both Legal and Youngest in Charge, you ended with reggae songs. So how does that end up sequencing wise?
Well, I think that they just sequenced it that way because it didn't fit into the hip hop schematics, so it couldn't like just pop up after the second song. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like a reggae song. So I think they just put it in the back of the album to separate it almost.
Okay.
Before they might think I'm like a mix artist, like if I would put it in the middle, I think that if I heard a different genre song in the middle of an artist's album, that would probably be what they were about somewhat. So mine was more showing you a sample of my culture and giving you a taste of that. And I do that on every album. I give them some reggae.
Right. Okay. So then Youngest in Charge, you're on Profile, which has some of the biggest artists in rap history with Run-DMC, Dane, Rob Bass, etc. And then you come out. So what was the environment as the record is coming out? Did you get to interact with any of them before or during the process? Ever see them in the office? Like,
before I didn't know anybody. After I met everybody. Dane was cool. I mean, we still tight to this day. Run-DMC, we was cool. They came over to my crib, man. I was like 18, 19. They came to my little condo and chopped it up with me. It was real cool. I love to interact. Like, they was all real people to me. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, cool. Rob Bass was cool. We always did shows together. Sweet Tea, they tried to set us up with a little what they call that, like a love affair type of scandal. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't nothing. We basically was on the same label, so I had a photo session, and when I got there, she was there, and I was like, oh, cool. And it was like, okay, why don't you take some pictures together? Okay, get closer, get closer, get closer. I was like, okay, fuck it. So we've always been great friends ever since. Even some of the newer artists from the label, like Smooth the Hustler and Trigger, they were from Brownsville, cool cats. It was even DJ Quick, and I'm gonna tell you something. At first, DJ Quick was from the West Coast, and there was a natural kind of, not rivalry, but a natural competition, like feeling of, okay, well, they from Cali. They had a whole different flavor, a whole different style, but the thing is, they were selling a lot of records. So we kind of looked at it like, damn, how they selling all those records, those California artists, and we're not, selling as many. So that was always an issue. But, DJ Quick, I always chop it up with him every time I come across him, or I even shout him out. So shout out to Quick. And who else was on there? Twin Height. Yeah, they went through some things. But yeah, there was a lot of artists on the label at that time, man. Oh, PRT, right? Wasn't there on Profile? Yeah, Poor Righteous Teachers, man. What? Crazy. Yeah, he's one of the illest.
Yeah, was intelligent for sure.
Yeah,
and you work with Father Shaheed later, right?
Yeah, actually, he did some production.
Yeah, on the Revelations.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so being very young, 15, 16, 17, getting into the game, when you started doing shows out of town, what surprised you and what did you learn about yourself?
Surprised me. I ain't surprised. It was what it was. What surprised me was that how people are with celebrities. Like, they just kind of treat celebrities like I don't know, it's like they're not real or some shit. Like, it's just people that's on a camera. Everybody, it's a camera. You know what I'm saying? You're recording people. That's all it is. But people have it in their mind that they're on a whole nother plane, a whole nother level. I don't know what it is, but yeah, that part with how people treat you when they see you on TV, when they, view you as a celebrity.
Gotcha. And what did you, like, show-wise, what do you remember being distinctive about your show compared to, say, a Public Enemy or a Heavy D and the Boys? Like, what was different?
Well, I think that time everyone had some similarities to their show. I mean, as far as like PE, they had the S1Ws and Flav, so it was a little different. But in like a Heavy D, and like, say, me, we both had like dancers, maybe a hype man, a DJ. The setup was always basic, DJ, MC, and then whatever you want to add to the show. For me, I had a hype man and dancers. The Jiggy crew and Little Sean was my hype man, but the Jiggy crew was the dancers, and they did a great job, man. Like, they set some precedents. They put a lot of styles and dance moves out there in the universe.
And Little Sean put the hickeys on your chest.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, so then moving on to Legal, with that album, the second album, which came out a year later in '90, you started doing producing for real. So what made you want to take the step from picking samples to really making beats and doing the production for real?
Well, natural progression. I watched and learned from Howie T. I bought the same equipment he had in his studio. As soon as I got my first check, first money I got, royalties, I went and bought equipment, put it in my mother's house. Yeah. It's just about investing into your business, growing your business. And that's what you do. You're going to have to invest into equipment.
Where did you learn that from?
Shit, life. I'm from Brooklyn.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV Raps with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The history of gangster rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The history of gangster rap in stores now.